you want to know the secret to getting a Ferrari or drop out of college?
Debt. To go to college, I will punch you in the face and try to stop it. Debt. To go to college, I will punch you in the face and try to stop it.
If I had to do it again, I still would got an undergrad degree.
Getting into college is probably one of the best things that has ever happened.
They're all out of school already, so you think they're ready?
So you don't want people to go to college. You can't afford college. You old man, you don't know anything about the cost of college.
Okay, you're about to graduate high school, or perhaps you are looking to get back to college. With so many professional opinions that we hear, it can become quite difficult to tell if we are making the right decision for ourselves. This is my first video, and today I'm going to be telling you the top 5 things that you should consider before making the decision as to whether or not you are going to pursue college. Also, at the very end of this video, I'm going to actually tell you if I went to college and why you should even listen to me, so stay tuned. Now, I grew up with many different friends, some that went to college saying that you have to go to college, and the others that didn't and said that you're an idiot if you go. And the reason that they did not go to college primarily is because of the money. Show me the money. The student loans that you are about to take on. And yes, I know there are financial aid and scholarships available out there, but that does not change the fact that more likely than not, you are still going to take on some sort of debt. You cannot get a $100,000 loan at 17 years of age for basically anything, whether it be a car, a house. Even if you want to open up your own business, guess what? They won't let you. Unless...
Look what I found in my pocket. Look, a year's salary right here. What I call them? Fun coupons.
That's right, by making the sole decision to go to college, those recruiters, bankers will be handing you cash hand over fist faster than it takes for you to like and subscribe to this channel. Do it! Student loans, just like any other loans, are debt. And that is something that you have to understand before jumping in. It's also one of the only debts that you are obligated to pay no matter what, even if you declare bankruptcy. There's absolutely just no way out of it. What? Type into Google student loan calculator to see how much a student loan will actually end up costing you over time. For example, with the rates being what they are, a $50,000 loan that has a term of 20 years will actually end up costing you close to $91,000. And if you go the maximum limit of 30 years to repay, it will actually cost you closer to $117,000. Why? Interest.
Word.
The amount of money that you are paying the bank as their commission for even handing you that loan in the first place. And understanding why you're going to end up paying more is absolutely crucial in making your decision on whether or not to go to college. And regarding those scholarship loans and the student financial aid, it's a great way to offset some of that debt. But most likely than not, it will not cancel out all of the debt, and there's going to be still a huge payment set.
No! No! No!
I know quite a bit of people that only had the first year paid for them. The other 3, guess what? Completely out of pocket. They were working day and night during summer times, spring breaks, winter breaks, just for it to even make sense for them to continue going to school. And the second thing that you need to understand is that education continues way past college. Now, when you were in high school, did it feel like 90% of the subjects that you learned were just sort of completely useless? That's because it probably is. Now, although I'm a firm believer in the K-12 education and teaching the basic fundamental principles like math, history, reading, writing, the lessons actually never give us any real-life skills that we will be able to take to apply. For instance, if you're in a job interview, you're not going to be sitting there trying to remember what date a specific war happened at. You need to understand how to market yourself and convince others that you are the right person for the job and why they need to pick you over them. And that sort of education is not really given in colleges as well as high school. The most successful people never stop learning. And everyone also needs to know how taxes in this country work, along with how debt works, how to avoid it, and how it can benefit towards your own personal benefit.
What?
So just understand that getting a college degree does not mean that it is the end of education, that after that you are never going to have to pick up another book ever again. You could, but come on, like, If you never pick up a book again, what are you gonna do? Gamble? Watch every single TV show and movie known to mankind? Till, you know, the end of times? Okay, pal, have fun with that one. Let me just check what's on Netflix real quick, you know? And this isn't even Netflix, it's a calculator. And guess what? You're not gonna know that unless if you study. What I'm trying to tell you is that education never stops, and the people that don't progress anywhere in life, even if they get a good job after high school, are those people that don't think that you need to continue to learn, don't need to continue to educate yourself. Okay, look, maybe you don't care about money as much. Possibly daddy's paying for you. Those Russian household and Asian household families, yeah, we gotta pay out of our own pocket. We don't really have something called the college fund from our parents since, you know, they've been saving up since we were like the age of, you know, -0. Like, for example, if you want to pursue a career in business, chances are you could find a hands-on job straight out of high school, learn the career that you are trying to go for in about 2 years, make money, avoid debt altogether, and you're gonna save a bunch of time.
You know what, guys? I'm done. I'm dropping out of school. I'm done. Who's with me? Who's with me?
One of the best and worst possible things that you can do is go work for a multi-level marketing company. And I'll do a video on it in depth a little bit later, but essentially what multi-level marketing agencies do is they focus a lot more on recruiting people, and that's how they tend to make their money rather than actually selling some sort of quality product or service.
Yes, thank you. You will get rich quick. We all will.
So for me, I did door-to-door sales selling TV and internet. And the thing is, it was all commission-based, so I made 0, unless if I actually managed to sell something. So get this, I was working about 60 hours a week, making only about $200 within that time frame. For your information, that's about $3.33 an hour. Nike wages, am I right? Don't cancel me. I just started. But basically, being in the worst possible sales industry, you kind of learn a few things about yourself. You learn that waking up in the middle of the night because you're worried about your bills is actually worse than nightmares. But you also learn to overcome the fear of talking to a complete stranger, yet alone selling something to them. However, if you do this, do not listen to the garbage that they tell you in the interview. You are there just to learn for the first 4 months, get in, get out. That's it.
It's not a pyramid scheme. It's not even a scheme per se.
The next thing that you need to consider is the career choice and the degree that you are actually going to pursue. One of the best pieces of advice that I have learned from watching YouTube at 3 a.m. at night is to follow opportunity over passion. What this means is you should pursue a career that has a lot of room for opportunity and growth, rather than just getting something just because you thought it was cool.
I'm gonna learn how to carve a shank out of my toothbrush.
Or because your best friend Karen told you about gender studies and how that's such a cool degree to get.
They can't hear me because they're listening to Kids Bop.
What I recommend is to research the type of career that you're going to pursue. One of my examples is, for instance, an architect. You should know that the competition is crazy because there are many people that are pursuing a career in this type of industry. But there's just one problem. There is not that many jobs available for that specific thing.
What makes you think you're qualified for this job?
Now, I'm not saying to kill your dreams, like especially if you want to be an architect. I think that's really cool. I personally could never draw. What I am suggesting is that you start in a place where you will be able to obtain some extra knowledge and information, perhaps even a little bit of experience. Then later progress into the position that you want to go for once that opportunity opens itself up.
Dwight Schrute is manager!
For example, if you do want to be an architect, I would recommend taking some courses or finding a job someplace where you will be able to learn how to read blueprints or even draw them, and also surround yourself with some interior designers. Another random example are actors. Did you know that many actors get jobs as waiters in restaurants? Why? Because it's a type of job where you can still grow your acting skills, but you're still making money, and you're not completely neglecting the fact that you have bills to pay.
You're gonna sneeze on my fish, aren't you?
Now, the other thing that you really should consider is the type of school that you're going to go to. And the reason I'm saying this is unless you are getting all or most of your schooling paid for, chances are you'll be able to save 4 times more if you go to a public or a community college rather than going to a private university. For example, the average cost of tuition and fees at a public 4-year college was $18,809 for out-of-state and $8,487 for in-state students, where in contrast, the average tuition at a private 4-year college is about $30,000. So if you are going to school in the state that you reside in, within that span of 4 years, you will save about $80,000. And just to mention again, this is not including FAFSA, not including scholarships at all. Also, those community colleges are actually going to give you the classes that you truly need for your career instead of, just giving you a bunch of random elective courses. Also, a big thing to note is that most jobs that you interview for, they're not really gonna care as to whether or not you went to Harvard or you went to a community college. As long as you have the degree that you need for the job that you were applying for, 9 times out of 10, that's really all they will look at.
Throw me out!
Now, in my senior year of high school, I had a history teacher who was the only person that ever taught us about debt. And he showed us this clip from this British late night talk show host about debt and student loans, and then proceeded to tell us that those student loans are not a bad thing. A history teacher telling me, a 17-year-old kid, newly acquainted with debt, and he's telling me, yeah, get the debt. At that exact moment, I realized I was not going to college. After that point, I kind of stopped trying in all my classes. And I had taken the most difficult classes, so I began cheating in physics. Got my first D in pre-calculus. I actually made enemies with about 90% of the people at my school by arguing politics. And then, something crazy happened. I graduated high school. I went from working some sort of blue-collar job to a sales job, back to a blue-collar job, back to a sales job. It was just sort of back and forth like that for quite some time. And a part of me was really annoyed by it, and I didn't really understand what was going on. I realized that something had to change. Guess what? Something did change. And what I'm about to tell you, nobody knows about this. Not my friends, not even my family. In the spring of 2021, I enrolled in college, and for the past 3 years, I have been studying and trying to get my master's as quick as possible to get my bachelor's degree so I can finally go become a traveling nurse. No, I'm just kidding. What ended up happening is I job hopped quite some time. I started my own remodeling business doing 6 figures at the age of 21, and now I make YouTube videos helping you navigate all things finance. And if you want to see more content like this, please be sure to like and subscribe, and perhaps even leave a comment down below